a moment, we will ask for you to stand when the bagpipers come in. We welcome you to the Cathedral Church of St. Mark. A couple of things to observe. To your right are our restrooms. We ask that if you use them, you use the side aisle. We ask that no pictures be taken from the center. There is a professional photographer in place. We also ask that those that are pinning are now seated on the left side. If you are pinning a student and not yet seated on the left side, you make your way there at this time. At the end of our presentation, we invite you to the Dean's Hall. You'll find that by going to your right, winding your way down the hall, where we have plenty of refreshments. We are delighted that you're with us at the Cathedral Church of St. Mark. Jan, at this time, if you would please.
We have come to give thanks and honor to those who are dedicating themselves to the most trusted of professions. We come to ask our Lord for a blessing as a new chapter of our lives begins. O my God, prepare the way, support these newly charged servants of thine with their desire to be of service to all mankind. May they be a source of comfort to the hearts of those in need, the supporters of those on a difficult path, a comforter and a healer to those in affliction. These are newly empowered angels who have dedicated their lives to the seeking of knowledge in the science and art of healing, to create better lives, better communities, a better world in which all to live. The healing professions provide a comfort to the whole society, a strength to the individuals and families they affect, and a transformative life for those able to carry out the care and knowledge they have been trained to offer to the world. Please guard and protect these gentle souls in their new endeavors. Help them to see with compassion, to touch with kindness, and always speak with love, so that their knowledge of the science of medicine will be balanced with the art and spiritual nature of healing. With joy in our hearts, we are gathered here to give praise and thanks for your loving grace in all the affairs of our lives. Thou art the ultimate healer, the protector, the all-loving, the all-wise. Namaste, salam, shalom, aloha, amen.
Thank you, Jan. I'm Father Raymond J. Waldon. I am the Dean of the Cathedral. Please be seated. I want to welcome you to the oldest church in continuous use in the state of Utah. What you may not know is that when we were founded, we were given a donation of $500 by Brigham Young. Most people don't know that. But from that came St. Mark's School, St. Mark's Hospital, and there began a tradition. Nurses came to the valley. When nurses came to the valley, it became common for us as Episcopalians, being the cathedral, the first one here in the city, to bless the pens of the nurses. Well, as you know, time happened, nursing programs became absorbed, and Westminster decided to do something wonderful, and that is keep on this fantastic tradition where deans have blessed pens for well over 100 years. If you go down south in our historic museum, when I say south, down the well, you're going to find a beautiful wall. And on that wall are the pictures of some of the graduating classes here in this cathedral. It is a beautiful sight. I'm delighted that you're here. Welcome. So delighted. Bishop Hayashi could not be with us today. His daughter is graduating from USC this weekend, so he is not able to be with us today. I wanted to address all of you for just a moment. Some of you ask, why am I here? That is because I truly believe a higher power called you to this profession. And I believe that higher power is God. And I believe you are called to heal. As you walk here, you're going to be judged by those that are looking and asking themselves, if I am in crisis, if I am in need of someone to deeply tell me it's going to be okay. It doesn't mean that I'm going to survive, but I'm going to be okay. You're looking at you right now going, is that the person that I want to see before I die? You're looking at someone that walked in a doctor's office, and I was in surgery 12 minutes later. A nurse walked up to me in triage, looked at me, and the appointment nurse said, have a seat. The nurse walked over and said, no, hang on a minute. She knew who I was. She said, Father Ray, come over here. She looked at me and said, come back here right now. She took me in the back. Next thing I know, 2 doctors are rushing in, and they looked at me and said, you're going to be okay. You're about to undergo an operation. That nurse stayed with me the entire time. And when I woke up, guess who I saw? Her. She said, you made it. The doctor told me if it were not for that nurse at that moment, I would be dead. So when I look at you, I ask myself, are you the one that I want to see when someone comes in and says, you've got surgery in just a few minutes? I'm so proud that you're here and so proud you've heard the call to this honorable profession. Welcome.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you very much for taking the time to come here this day. I want to express my gratitude to all of you, and thanks to all of you for the support and the commitment that all of you have for these great students that you see sitting here today. Our faculty know, and the students know that they could not have made this without you. If you've had the opportunity to look at some of the statements in your program that the students made, almost every one of them say thank you to all of you for what you have done. It's a great honor to be able to tell you this message today, that these students are by far the greatest students. Westminster nursing students are the greatest students in the nation. We know that. We know that by what we see, the accomplishments they have done, where they're going to be in the profession as a nurse, and what they're going to be doing in the community. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank our faculty, and I know you can't see them very well. Faculty have experienced the same kinds of things over the years that the students have, and you never forget your experience in nursing school. I remember the very first patient that I had 100 years ago. Will never forget his face, and never forget how I was able to be of service to him. Thank you all for coming. Be careful as you travel to your destination after this ceremony, and please enjoy. Thank you.
This is a great day. We're so happy to be here. And don't they look good in black? They do. Several years ago, there was a meeting with nursing faculty and an influential person to a college. And this person had come to talk with us about a few issues, and the first thing on his mind was that he wanted us to stop making it so hard for our students to pass our classes. He said, there are people who have looked forward to being a nurse their whole life. They've had this desire their whole life, and they come, and then they don't pass the class, and it's devastating. And it took a minute for us to gather ourselves after that comment and think, well, how can we say this? And one of the nurses said, the faculty said, think about it for just a minute. Think about you being in the hospital, and imagine that you're there and that you're having heart arrhythmias. And it's determined that the reason you're having heart arrhythmias is because your potassium level is low in your serum, in your blood. And you need to get some supplemental potassium. So there's a prescription from the physicians that says that you need to give 40 milliequivalents of potassium IV. And you need to get this potassium in your IV. And then the faculty said, if the nurse does it right, your heart arrhythmias will stop and you'll be okay. If the nurse does it wrong, your heart will stop and there won't be anything anybody can do to start it again. And this man stopped for a minute and he said, oh. And we never heard anything more about that idea. So that's why we make it hard to pass those classes, because it is a great responsibility to be a nurse. Through the last couple of years, the students, we've talked about the different roles that nurses have. And one of my favorite ways to think about nursing roles is Patricia Benner's Domains of Nursing Practice. And are they laughing now again? Yeah, okay, okay. The helping role is a very important nursing role. Teaching and coaching, monitoring, the effective management of rapidly changing situations, administering and monitoring therapeutic interventions and regimens, and ensuring the quality of healthcare practices. Nurses do all of those. Other people also fill those roles to some extent. But there's one role in particular that nurses do, that only nurses do, and that is monitoring 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's always a nurse at the bedside. And of course, I'm talking about hospital situations, because that's where I live as a nurse in medical surgical nursing. It's the nurse's job to recognize problems early. That's what monitoring is all about, so that we can nip them in the bud before they get out of hand. Every one of our graduates here would be able to understand and know what it means if a person who has peptic ulcers suddenly has an increase in their heart rate. Yep. They know what it means if a patient with pancreatitis has a drop in their pulse oximeter readings. They know what it means if the patient who has an acute coronary syndrome develops a second-degree AV block type 2. Or an idiopathic supraventricular tachycardia, paroxysmal. So, how do we as nurses know what to focus on when we're monitoring our patients? The way we know what to monitor our patients for is because whenever we come to practice on any given day and we find out who our patients are, we always ask ourselves a particular question. And what is that question? Okay, what can go wrong? And that's what you monitor for. And because you're particularly monitoring the patient for that, you catch it early and you take care of it before it gets out of hand. Well, now that you're graduating and you are going into practice as registered nurses, there's a lot that will go right with your career. What you do is going to save lives and relieve suffering, will ease pain and anxiety from birth to the end of life. But we also must realize what can go wrong in a career and monitor for it so you can nip it in the bud. And the first of these on my list is complacency. And those of you that have heard this before, forgive me, but I think a great example of this is an old story about Florence Nightingale. She wrote that she had read in the newspaper that a man had gone into a stranger's house, sneaked up behind the stranger, and slit the man's throat. And then he left the house and was walking down the street. And when the police caught up with the man, they said, "Did you just go into that house and slit that man's throat?" And he said, "Why, yes, I did." "So?" And Nightingale says, "He was mad, of course." And he was taken straight away to an asylum. And then she said, "And yet every day in hospitals, patients don't get their teeth brushed. They don't get a bath. They don't get the emotional support that they need. And yet everybody walks around like it's okay. We might as well go in and slit their throats." Complacency is a really bad thing as a nurse, so always remember everything that you do is important. The next thing that can go wrong on my list is cynicism. If you graduates, see things going on that shouldn't be going on. Don't waste your time complaining. Use the tools that you've learned to use in your leadership class to make a positive change. Pride is another thing that can go wrong. Remember that keeping your patient clean saves more lives than intra-aortic balloon pumps or checking pulmonary artery wedge pressures. And the other thing is never forget what it's like to be a student, now that you're going to be the preceptors. What else can go wrong? Compassion fatigue, which means that we all need to help and support each other. There are probably other things too, but I think those are the top ones on my list. Diane Forster Burke, who taught with us here at Westminster for many years, used to have a little quote on the bulletin board outside her door that said, it was a quote from Lily Tomlin, and Lily Tomlin said, "All of my life, I wanted to be somebody. Now I see I should have been more specific." So graduates, you know how to use the tools, from simple tools like stethoscopes and sphygmomanometers to the most complex tools like evidence-based practice, therapeutic communication, and coaching. But how you use those tools is up to you. The master craftsman and the shoddy workman may use the same hammer and saw, but the results are very different. So be sure that you're the master craftsman using those tools to the best of your ability. Go out and develop your skill, be a master of nursing practice and of the nursing discipline. We are so proud of you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Congratulations, you guys. We did it. We made it, and it's over. Thank goodness. Thank you, friends, family, faculty, and anyone else who may have stumbled into this celebration for coming here today to show your support, as you've done and been doing so patiently and lovingly these past 2.5 years, or basically forever. So, faculty especially for never not being our cheerleaders, and for working so hard to help us succeed. Friends for putting up with canceled plans, bribing me with coffee to come to class, and threatening to break into my house and drag me out of bed to study. True story, you know who you are. Family for believing in me when I didn't think I could even get into a nursing program, much less finish one. And for putting up with all of my ranting and raving when I called crying and worrying about a test. And thank you to my cohort for allowing me to represent you up here tonight. I am truly humbled and honored and a little bit shaky. I had a lot of coffee today. So please continue to show your support and faith in me by laughing at the dumb jokes I sprinkled throughout the speech. This whole journey, from deciding to pursue nursing, to trudging through the prerequisite courses, to sprinting blindly through the program, it seemed through our nursing classes, stumbling through clinicals has been nothing short of a whirlwind. It's as though we were tossed raw and jagged into a rock tumbler, just crashing and waiting and spinning and waiting to one day be spit out as the shiny, sparkly gems that we all are today. For some, this wild ride may have been easier, for some more difficult, but no matter the tribulations each of us faced along the way, we made it here today, and it feels nothing short of miraculous, truly a cause for celebration. And I mean, aren't we all so excited to get to wear basically pajamas to work from now on? Now that we've taken a moment to pat ourselves on the back and indulge in a daydream about our future uniforms, let's travel back in time to semester 1, AKA ground zero, to all of us bright-eyed and bushy-tailed nursing students hopped up on coffee, misplaced pride from passing our prerequisites, and something we may have all but forgotten about that since that day, sleep. I would love to say that I remember everything about that first day of the program, but I think I've blocked it out of my memory, likely to make way for the mechanism of some medication or the correct steps to take in any rapidly changing situation. Oh well. But during those faithful first weeks, we were misled about the overall trajectory of our program. We spent hours, literal days in lab, learning how to correctly wash our hands. And then, by the next week, we were 1,600 pages deep into the textbook, had care plans to write on at least one patient every week, needed to drive an hour or more through rush hour traffic to gather information on said patients prior to clinicals, and we were met with confusion from the professors and family members and everyone on seeing the puffy purple bags under our eyes growing deeper and darker every day. It only went downhill from there. Med-surg, peds, OB, health assessment, theory, community, psych nursing, all a blur of rapid-fire information and momentous firsts. First sim lab, first time you talk to patients about their meds and miraculously explain them all correctly. First time you care for a terminally ill patient and also provide comfort to their grieving family members. First time a 7-year-old swears at you with every 4-letter word you've ever heard, plus some made-up ones. First time you seriously hear Sherry's voice in your head saying, "Think like a water rat," or "What could go wrong?" First time you actually feel grateful for those hours learning how to hand wash because God only knows what you just touched in that patient's room. First time you feel like nothing you do matters, and then the first time you see how you've changed someone's life for the better. I have a feeling that we'll continue to experience firsts like these for a long time in our careers. And just as we thought we were getting the hang of nursing school, we arrived at Advanced Med-Surg and Capstone this past semester, where every day of the week is Monday. By this point, we feel like we have at least heard of most of the meds in our ATI tests, but we're beginning to suspect that our tragically unhealthy patient, Mr. Jones, just isn't going to get better this time. It would not be for our lack of expertise on our part, though. After all, by now, we are master hand washers and have tried repeatedly to encourage Mr. Jones to perform basic hygiene, alas. It is so exciting to see how far we've come and how many important firsts we have checked off our lists. That said, we are still way behind the nurses that we will one day become, and so much of our education will come from the time and experience in the hospitals, clinics, etc., that we'll soon be occupying. This is simply the first step. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you and congratulations, class of 2017.
Testing, testing, nope, okay. It's not working. Okay, we got this. Okay. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. May you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever
That was so beautiful, wasn't it? Congratulations to you, our Westminster nursing graduates. You have worked so hard these past years, and now wonderful opportunities and adventures await you. We are so proud of you. Nursing school has been hard. Many of you have experienced personal challenges these past few years. Marriages have happened, loved ones were lost, at times relationships were strained, but you are strong and you are smart. Remember Christopher Robin's words to Pooh, "Promise me you'll remember you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." 2 years ago, I had the very sobering experience of walking with my dad through a short journey with pancreatic cancer. It reaffirmed for me the incredibly important role that nurses have when working with patients. During that time, I felt content knowing that some of our graduates provided kind, compassionate, and skilled nursing care to my dad, gently giving him a bed bath, assessing him, and providing high-level, skilled nursing care. So throughout that stressful time, my heart filled up with joy knowing that Westminster College does have the best nurses and that I contributed to their education. Thank you for asking me to speak at this special celebration so that I can share some of the lessons I've learned as a nurse and as your teacher. Even though I know you are saying, I'm never going to take another ATI test or write another care plan, I want you to remember the lessons they've taught you. Not only have they helped develop your critical thinking, they have given you the ability to stay up when you really wanted to go to sleep, and to miss out on social activities and to stick with something even when you really wanted to give up. So you see, tests and papers really have helped you. Another lesson I want you to remember is that you must continue to read. There is still so much to learn and to keep up with. When I went through nursing school, my pediatric text had less than 800 pages, but as you've heard, theirs have more than 1,800 pages and additional online resources to go with it. There's so much to learn and so much to read. Also, please know that you won't know everything and that it's okay to ask questions. Stick with it. It will get more comfortable with time. Stay humble and open to learning. Be eager to nurture and help nursing students who are assigned to you, and be positive and encouraging to them. Remember what it felt like to be a nursing student assigned to that grumpy nurse. Volunteer for a cause that you feel passionate about. Don't be afraid to get involved. Each of you has a unique gift that can be shared with others. Laugh when you can with your patients and with your colleagues. It's good for the soul. It's also all right to cry with your colleagues and sometimes with your patients when you need to. Stay connected to people and not just to technology. See behind the monitor to the frightened, frail older person in the bed or the small, hurting child. Be patient with families and remember that these could be the last moments that they spend with their loved ones. When you are with your patients, be mindful of the moment, slow down and be with them physically and mentally. Take time to listen with your ears and with your heart, and remember that it's the people who matter in life. Be kind, caring, and compassionate. Don't be rough. Please don't leave your patients alone for hours on end. Go into that room even when you want to run the other way. Remember that nursing is a noble profession. We share precious and intimate moments with our patients when they are feeling the most vulnerable. Keep the joy in what you do. I want you to know that I am so very proud of you. I've loved teaching you and getting to know each of you, and I'm so glad to call you my colleagues. Congratulations.
As we begin to do the pinning, one of the things that I wanted to remind you is to please hold your applause to the very end. That way we move. I would like to ask those of you that are pinning to begin to line up. We'll turn on these two microphones. Thank you, sir. And we will ask that our photographer will take his center part Those of you that wish to take pictures may do so from your pew, but please do not come into the center. Pinners, you will come in from this side and exit from this side. And if I would ask our pinners now to come forward, our two faculty members that will help present the pins. Don, thank you. Perfect. And now I will bless the pens. For those of you that do not believe in religion, it's okay, as we say, if you don't think it will help, I promise you it won't hurt. The other thing I want to tell you is, as a man of great faith, I truly believe that when you set apart something that is symbolic of your heart, it invites God in those moments when you don't have the skill, but God gives you the wisdom. So as we bless these pins, I ask all of you to join with me in prayer, that they may become a sign for those that will wear them. Father, if you will join me, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, we ask God to bless these pens, to set them aside, that he and she who shall wear them be reminded of these last years of training that will carry them forth in life. Amen. Do we have someone that's going to bring the... Perfect. Thank you.
Now for the presentation of the class of 2017. Go ahead and start. Nicholas Adams. Nicholas Adams. Oh, and picture. Abigail Alger. Carrie Allen. Nicholas Aranada Sariago. Oh, pip, pip. Justin Bentiga. Margaret Bean. Sam Barco. I wasn't going to call your name, but I will. Yeah, do we want a picture of that? Amanda Black. Nicole Bojack. Ashton Brandon. Jessica Brown. Savannah Brown. Wait, picture. Tessa Brown. Natalie Catlett. Jordan Chilcote. Nye Chiv. Kasia Collins. Madison Coolno. Da Silva. The graduates are being pinned by family or friend members who are nurses or by faculty. Daniela D. Benedetto. Marina Drokina. Morgan Dykes. Lindsay Eberly. Ilhan Ida. Mackenzie Eiding. Coral Elge. Michelle Fortune. Daniel Green. Tiffany Hards. Jenny Hargis. Ibana Hassenfratz. Did I kill that? Seba Haug Baltzel. Danielle Hoholik. Courtney Humphreys. Joanna Jimenez. Elizabeth Kelly. Taylor Kelso. Gabriella Kinney. Cora Els. Sorry. Okay. Now we have Coral Els. Tanisha Lang. Camille Last. Megan Lazarakis. Elvia Lopez. Catherine Maybe. Haley Mallerby. Mariah McCarthy. Brooke Marin. Somebody's excited. Devin Miller. Christine Moore. Dominique Owen. John Parker. Aileen Perez Garcia. Mila Polishuk. Her son is accepting her pin. Our youngest graduate ever, Jennifer Paulson. Morgan Reynolds. Rebecca Rondon. Nathan Rowley. Michaela Ruckert. Sorry. Elizabeth Runny.
A lot of pictures.
Farasat Ryal. Farasat Sayal. Is that right? Zachary Stout. Kate Tanner. Kenneth Taylor. Spencer Taylor. Grace Temple. Crystal Terry. Jonas 2. Van Lan. Miranda Van Hoota. Delaney Williams. Skylar Yedlin. Rose Segal Crosby. Shall we give our graduates a rousing hand?
And now if you'll do the nursing pledge. Stand. Go.
Traditionally, the graduating class presents the Dean, Dr. Cheryl Stedman, with a photograph of our whole class. So I wanted to be the one to do that today. Thank you so much. We also have one more special gift from the class of 2017. Dean Walden, we wanted to present you with a parting gift, as we know that it will be our last year with you. So thank you for all you've done.
This is so cool.
Hi, I hope everyone can hear me. I decided to lose my voice today. So my name's Sarah, and I'm the alumni representation. I'm so honored to be here tonight to welcome you all to the Alumni Association and to celebrate such a momentous occasion. I had my own pinning ceremony 10 years ago, and at that time, I knew I'd made the right choice in picking Westminster College, but I didn't really understand what I was really getting myself into and how great of a decision it actually was. It actually wasn't for several more years into my career, that I understood and realized the true value of my education. After graduation, I did what most nurses do and worked on a medical surgical floor for about 5 years. It was at that time that an opportunity presented itself to become the living donor kidney coordinator for the University of Utah Transplant Center. After I was hired, my boss said to me that the decision came down to myself and one other candidate, and he chose me. And the other candidate was a coordinator who had already had previous transplant experience, but he picked me because my education came from Westminster. Without my boss taking a Westminster graduate with very little transplant experience, I never would have realized my true passion for living donor transplant. I was given the opportunity to grow an amazing kidney program with the help of a wonderful multidisciplinary team. It was because of our success with our kidney program and the growth we've shown over the years that my transplant surgeon decided that it was time to start our own living liver program. It was during this process that I came to realize the true value of my education and how how much I owe to everybody here who gave me all the tools that I needed. Starting a brand new program was the hardest thing that I have ever done in my career, and even though through all the setbacks, all of the long hours, putting policies and procedures together, I never once thought, I can't do this. And I truly owe that to all my professors and clinical instructors who gave me those building blocks, gave me the necessary tools to do well. My team has now completed 3 successful living donor liver transplants, which in the state of Utah is a very big success for us. And this has enabled 3 patients who would still be on the waiting list to have their life back. I've also sadly come to realize this on a much more personal level over the past few months. The effect that liver disease and liver failure can take on a person and their family. I assisted a good friend of mine. Her mother-in-law was dying of liver cancer, and so therefore did not qualify for a liver transplant, and provided her with end-of-life care. It further proved to me that I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. So I encourage you, as the graduates, to do just that, to find your place in the nursing world, and knowing that your teachers and instructors have given you all the tools you need. If I could give you one more piece of advice before you leave tonight, it would be to remain an active member of your Westminster community. I've only recently reconnected with the college and wish I would have done it much sooner. I have met some wonderful people through the association, both in and outside of the nursing program, whom I never would have met otherwise. I've been able to build many personal and professional relationships with these people. You never know the connections you will make. Congratulations to the class of 2017. Now go celebrate all of your hard work. Thank you.
Please stand for the benediction.
Sanctify, O Lord, those whom you have called to the study and practice of the arts of healing and to the prevention of disease and pain. Strengthen them by your life-giving Spirit, that by their ministries the health of the community may be promoted and your creation glorified, through Jesus Christ our Lord. And the blessing of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit be upon you and remain with you always. Amen.
And now, graduating class, we will process out upwards. join us in the Dean's Hall now for refreshments.
You must be proud.
I am.
Congratulations. You guys are, it was great to meet you. Everything I hope they